The concept of the informal sector was introduced into international usage in 1972 by the International Labour Organization. Informal sector contribution for Nigeria is currently estimated at 57.9% of gross domestic product, according to the United Nations, and it employs about 46% of the female labor force. The women mostly operate in a hostile environment and are ignored as far as public policy is concerned. Often, they are seen as illegal traders to be harassed by law enforcement agents. They generally have limited access to startup and working capital and other resources such as credit and technology.
My name is Sefia Mohammed. I'm from Kano State. I reside in Kano, came back here in 2010. So when my husband and I faces challenges of there's no job, I now enter into trading. As I enter into trading, I got to get a shop in Kano market. Later demolition come, Erified demolition market. We now use zinc to demarcate it. With a few time, I'll take people to the market. The challenges we women face mostly are, number one, financial crisis. We don't have enough money to put into our trading. Those that can even trade more, they don't have money. Another challenge is that we as a woman, as a mother with children, some of us 3, 4, 5 children, we are the people that run the home and it affects our business.
Virtually all of the female non-agricultural labor force is in the informal sector. But what is of interest is the sterling performance and resilience of women who work in today's economy. This is in spite of the multiple taxation and daily limitations they face at their places of work.
My name is Tijani, Banka Tijani. My husband died in 2014, and because of the problem, nothing, that is why I'm looking for where I'll sell so that I'll feed myself and my children. So there was one of my friends that took me to Maraba, that is Maraba route, so that I'll be selling there and see what I would eat with my children. So that's how I find myself at Maraba. So but at times, when we come there, they will be pursuing us, police will be disturbing, but they don't want to see us along the road. Now we should go inside market and go and sell. And inside market, before you go there, you have to rent shop. There is no money to be able to rent the shop. So that's why we are trying to put something so that people can buy, so that we will see something.
They create employment in contexts where the formal economy cannot provide jobs for the majority of people who are less skilled. Nevertheless, women have found ways of surviving in precarious circumstances that may otherwise destroy them. They are able to rise above these limitations not only to cope, but also to build a good life. They have found ways of mobilizing themselves and each other, at times building their own associations as a way to deal with the challenges they are confronted with.
I'm the national women leader of the National Association of Nigerian Traders, NATS. The association is basically an umbrella platform for all traders to come together, and the organization is for the traders beyond buying and selling, to a vehicle of social justice, human rights, sustainable development, and to reduce poverty. So on this platform, we have all traders, as many as possible, registered across the states in Nigeria to form the National Association of Nigerian Traders. 70% of this association are women. And so we have the women traders cutting across from the rural to the urban areas. And of course, basically what any woman trader will need is money to be able to revolve in her business. And so every day you hear the cry and the lamentation of the average rural woman on how to get enough funding to revolve in her business, because we are the one that oil the wheel of the nation's economy. We contribute largely to the gross domestic product, that is the GDP of this country. We are of the informal sector.
The informal sector is actually meant to be the new formal in Nigeria, and not just in Nigeria, in the whole of Africa, because more and more of the normal formal trade are becoming formalized. But the position of women, most of the trade is actually done in the informal sector, are being led by women, who constitute over 49% of the Nigerian demography. And even what they contribute to trade is very, very huge.
Most of us double as farmers and traders. And so you see that as micro and as medium or small or medium as we are, they are very important to the nation's economy. Because, for instance, without the pineapple seller and the orange seller, even the rich cannot have the fruit salad on their tables. And so they are very, very important in every ramification. And there has been this burden for enough fund to revolve in their businesses.
If government can come to Nigeria traders and say, this is money for you people, interest free or with low interest, access it. If you didn't bring it, we hold you responsible.
If you have a better place than all of us will stay without staying for that sum, it will be good. And secondly, the capital money for us to start the market, to the business. Because without money, you can't do anything.
In one of the APC promises to us was that we were going to empower, traders across the country when they are sworn into power, when they are voted into power. And of course it came to be. There was a 140 billion earmarked for that purpose, for traders to access. It is called the Government Enterprise Empowerment Program, which is the GIP loan, popularly known as the market money. And it's supposed to be an interest-free loan for 6 months and within the range of 10,000 to 100,000 for as many as are interested to apply for. Out of the 140 billion, 70% of that money was meant for the women traders. We applied for the loan, and through the commercial bank, Fidelity Bank and Access Bank. And being that the women that were coming for this loan are majorly from the rural areas, we needed now to sensitize and also train them on, on how to do their bookkeeping rights, open the account for them, and also show them the need to run those accounts on a daily basis. But first and foremost, we made them to know that the money was not a national cake. It was not a grant. It was a loan to be paid back, but interest-free. And secondly, it was not compulsory. And so if you knew you were not going to be able to pay back, don't take it. But as many as were interested, they keyed into it. And as I speak to you, only few states of our association have been able to access the money. And then out of the few states that were able to access the money, only few persons also got the money. So there are so many persons that are still on queue waiting for this money.
CDD's Buhari Media reports that the federal government has commenced the implementation of the 140 billion naira GIP fund targeting 1 million traders, women cooperatives, and market women. Within the period under review, the GIP has disbursed a total of 57,000 loans to its beneficiaries across 30 states.
But the biggest challenge is that of demolition of stores, is that of the multiple taxation. Is also the implementation in terms of human rights violation that occurs when they are doing some of these actions.
With increasing incidence of taxation in the contemporary tax reforms, Nigerian women are worst hit by the socio-economic burden of the various gender-insensitive tax policies. It is worrisome that the era of multiple taxations has led to drastic loss in profit generation and continuous discouragement of women's participation in the nation's socio-economic development, as against Goal 5 of the SDGs, with the specific pledge to achieve equality and empower all women and girls.
And you also have to take the fact that women constitute most of the families, depending, are now female-headed in different parts of the country. If you take the Northeast, you have more female-headed households than male-headed households.
As a result of, there is no tangible work for our husband to do. All the emphasis, running of the home, running of the business, it is on us.
There is an overlap between working in the informal sector and being poor. A higher percentage of people working in the informal sector as compared to the formal sector are poor. This overlap is even greater for women than for men.
The
problems are, like I say, lack of space, and because these women have to maximize the little space that they have been given to, you see most of them barely sitting on the floor because it's not a permanent store. If you get it this week and you come next week, that might not be where you will get, and then you are paying, for that space. And most times these women, they survive on their daily sales. Out of the daily sales is what they use to eat. And so when they find themselves paying so much as a multiple taxation, they pay for the tray, they pay for the space, they pay for whatever, different receipts with different colors for different purposes, all from one source of an SME trader. And so they would rather take to street hawking. They would rather within the market send their children to hawk, and sometimes outside the zone of the market.
At first I will not sell, like when they come today, I'm just coming back from market. That stands for scum. But when as we see them, due to times they will used to pursue us now. But when we see them today, that I run, pack our load and run. Even some few months ago, when I go to market, when I buy a bag of garden egg. So when I brought it down to put it down there, they came and took it. So I followed them to their office. They said I should pay 3,000 to collect it. But I don't have the money. Then I leave the garden egg there.
Garden egg is how much?
I bought it back 1,500. They said I should pay 3,000. So I don't have the money. I said, oh, I don't have the money to leave the garden egg today.
If they come with ticket we don't pay, they harass us. They will not allow you to sell. They will seize your goods. And the more they seize your goods, the more they will charge you more than the 15 or the 20 you are supposed to pay.
Naira 20 zuwa can kuma wasu za su zo kuma su ce 20 da yamma zuwa haka kafin za mu taso kuma za su ce 50. Haka dai muke dinga biya ba mu san ko mutane nawa ba, wani lokaci zaka ba kamar mutum 5 haka, wani lokaci ko mutum 4 kafin yamma yayi. Don haka muke.
Any government that come, it is not only the present government or the past government, but also to the future governments. They should look more into women activity and their children. Because if you are any government that invests in any woman, invest in all the nation.
Now, what's our intervention as CDD and why are we actually doing this? It's very, very important because we have to start taking into light some of these challenges that women actually face for better policies, and also not just better policies as an engagement strategy, and also for people to recognize the opportunities that are involved. How do we bridge the gap between challenges and opportunities? That is what our work as CDD and our intervention in this area is really all about.
The Nigerian government at various levels should adopt policies aimed at enhancing the performance of the informal sector. The informal sector is a medium of reducing unemployment in Nigeria, and it should therefore be embraced in this task. Although the informal sector has its challenges, especially for women, which revolves around the inaccessibility of credit to finance its activities, the women's role in the informal finance sector in Nigeria cannot be overemphasized. CDD recommends that policymakers listen to and work with women in the informal sector to improve their positions and thereby accelerate national development. A comprehensive approach must be taken to remove the social, economic, and legal constraints on women. National action plans must be designed in broad consultation with women's groups. Women's institutions in the community, marketplaces, and trades must be recognized and utilized to increase women's participation and decision-making in the society.